Hey, Punksburgh. This is funny.
Hey, Punksburgh.
Punksburgh. It's hard to say.
Hey.
Punksburgh is hard to say.
I thought you were talking about the Penguins. Punksburgh.
Punksburgh. No, it's Punk.
Hey, Punksburgh.
What's up? Hey, I'm here with Brayton Batson. We're at Looking for Group. It's a pretty exciting gaming place as well as a pretty cool venue to do shows. And of course, Brayton is also the drummer for Thanks Dad.
It's true. It's true.
So I guess first, if you don't mind, just giving us a rundown of what Looking for Group is.
Yeah. So it's a business in Brookline on the Boulevard that is part gaming lounge or LAN center and part co-working space. So we have space in the front where you can play PC games or console games, VR stuff. We have a lot of couch co-op games. Just a lot of different things around socializing, playing video games. We also have a ton of board games, and there's a big community of board gamers who come in.
How did the idea for Looking for Group come about? Where did that come from?
So the guys that I used to play D&D with, we were playing D&D, and we were talking about how cool it would be to have a place like this. So it wasn't originally my idea. It was one of my friends, and we were reading a Reddit AMA about another LAN center that's in Georgia, and we were like, we could do that. So then we did. So that's what it is.
What was that? What was the journey like from that idea to like running an actual business?
Honestly, ours was maybe even too fast of a journey. Like we crunched a couple of numbers. We decided if we had this much space, a space so big. We looked at real estate. We said these kinds of spaces are available. We said if we charge this much per hour, which was $4 an hour when we opened. Now it's $5 an hour. But we said if we charge $4 an hour and we have, I can't remember, it was 25 or 35% utilization of our space, which seems really low. Then that makes it probably pays for one employee to be here to run the store, which is with my brother Ed, who played in Substitute for Quality with me. And then there are 5 owners, and so Ed would be here working full time, and the other 4 of us would be running support. And it seemed like the math added up, so we took it to the. I say we. I didn't do any of this part of the work. We took it to the small business place, company, government organization, SBC, council, and they, approved. They guaranteed the loan. Then we took it to a bank, and the bank gave us a loan. It was a relatively small business loan because we don't retail, so we had a lot of upfront costs. Like we had to buy, 10 gaming PCs, and we bought 12 consoles to open up, and so that many monitors and that many TVs, and then chairs and all that stuff. But we're not sitting on inventory, so a lot of businesses that start up have to buy inventory. Yeah, so we had a $35,000 build out and then $100,000 of inventory that we hope to make money on, but we didn't have that problem.
Right.
Yeah.
So seems like things are going pretty well here.
Yeah. We're probably the worst thing we do. We're probably worst at marketing, but it's been, despite that, we've been getting more and more organic growth, and we get a lot of people who just come in and like the community aspect of it.
Yeah.
So,
was there, thinking about someone that might be out there that's, whether it's looking to start a band or a blog or a business, was there anything like through that process that you took away from that might be good advice for someone else?
Yeah, I don't know how to distill that down. So our biggest problem, and we still are working on this to some degree, is making sure that the people you're working with have the same concepts as you. So when you talk about something, you agree on something, making sure that you both mean that. Which especially because there are 5 of us, so that
Right.
like if there's a, we've had meetings and walked away and then talked about them later. And it was like, hey, I thought you were supposed to do this, and 2 of us thought one thing and 3 of us thought another thing. And it's like we're all sitting at the same table. How do we do that? But as far as like,
Yeah, I mean that applies to so many things. Like that, from being in a band to, I mean, anything that you're trying to do as a group of people. I absolutely, like, I know for what we do in the Danzas is, it works for us because we have that communication.
yeah, sure, for sure. I've had the same experiences in bands.
Yeah.
And I've had, in the band context, you're talking about like, hey, should we play shows? How often should we? We don't want to oversaturate.
Sure.
Like play too many shows where we're killing ourselves, but no one cares and comes to our shows and stuff like that. And like, those are hard conversations to have because everybody cares a lot, but nobody wants to tell their band members like, no,
Right.
because you're friends.
Right.
Yeah.
So, speaking of music, you've been part of the music scene for a while. How long have you been doing shows here at LFG?
So we've been open for just over a year and a half ish. I don't know, a year and 3/4, and I think our first show must have been just about a year ago. And when we first rented the place, I went in the basement, and the first thought I had was, this is the perfect place for basement shows. And my roommate has a PA that he uses like 4 times a year, right? And he's been into sound engineering for since he was a kid, and so it worked out really nicely where he was like, well, I'll bring my PA over, and we'll do the shows. And so it's like this little basement venue. But then we have like monitors, and we have like, hey, we can give the guitar player a different monitor mix than the drummer, and a different one than the bass player, and that's like nicer. So I like to think that we have like a little bit nicer PA setup than I have experienced as a punk rock musician playing
Right.
out. So.
Yeah, I can attest to that. You have some other things that you do for shows that some other venues don't. If you want to talk about that.
So I'm not sure what you mean, but I'll just say.
Talking about the live streaming.
Oh yeah. So, for it to work, so I wanted to run a venue because I love punk rock. For it to work out to be worth the time, like we have to pay the rent. So, we have the equipment, so we live stream out all the shows, and I feel like that's something of value to add to bands.
Yeah.
Because I always want to have a recording of this. So we just take a mix out of the mixer for the sound, and then have at least one camera angle. Sometimes we have 2 cameras set up, and we can swap between them, but it's a matter of circumstance. But and then because we need to we LFG needs to take a cut of the door money to like make it worthwhile to do it. So when we book a show, we want like $5 a ticket comes to the house, and then whatever else goes to the bands, which is nice if you pay $10 for the ticket, but that means you're taking money out of the pool for the venue. And so if you can put something back in, like, hey, here's a live stream, here's a video of your performance, then I feel like that's value added, and that makes a lot of bands say, like, yeah, we'd love to play there. We feel, it sounded good, and there was a record of that. So
speaking of your punk rock heritage, you're also the drummer in Thanks Dad, as we mentioned. And if you guys have anything coming up, anything you're working on?
we've been talking about playing shows again. So we haven't played a show in I don't know, like 6 months or so, and but we've been anyway. Just very recently, we were talking about, hey, we should probably play it again, and I'm really excited about it because I really like that project. So,
Yeah. The last time I saw Thanks Dad was at the Bottle Rat album release show with Latecomer and Complete Bastards, and that was that was just an amazing show.
Yeah, that was the last show we played.
But so, thinking about like the local bands, are there any other local bands that you think should get more coverage than they are, or just that are your favorites, or?
That's a tough question. That's a hard one because I like.
All right, well,
I'm
then
friends
let's
with so
flip
many
it.
people. Yeah.
What about businesses?
Businesses.
Then, like either the venues or
So the venues that I've played at that I like a lot. I mean, they're venues that everybody plays at, but I really like playing at Cativo. It's just like it's a really open space. Like you feel like you can get a whole crowd in there.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun to be there as a participant in the crowd. But like, it's like I don't know. Pittsburgh's like always the same. I'm never gonna not play somewhere.
Sure,
we all love playing like Howlers and Gooskies and whatever. Like lay out the list, but R.I.P. the pub. But like
R.I.P. Yeah. I guess this seems to be a standard question for Punksburgh interviews. What is your favorite local pizza?
Oh,
could be hard depending on.
That's really hard. I feel like a lot of people. So we're in Brookline, right?
Right. Yeah.
A lot of people would say Fiori's, but I'm not. That's not me.
You gotta be you, man.
Yeah. I don't. I mean, so I live in Millvale.
Okay.
And in Millvale, I would go Frank's.
There you go.
So we'll just go with that.
So just to wrap things up a little bit, as far as LFG and Thanks Dad, like where can people go to find stuff out about both of those things online?
Yeah. LFG has a website, lfgpgh.com. So they can come in, they can just go there and check it out. We do events all the time. So we do basement shows once a month, but we also have tournaments and parties and stuff like that. And then Thanks Dad has a Facebook page. You can so just search Thanks Dad on Facebook.
Okay. As far you mentioned the other events that you do, do you want to talk about some of the other events that you, as far as gaming and stuff that you do here?
I mean, we do the big thing that's coming up that I'm excited about is Replay Effects.
Okay.
Which we're not running it, but we're involved in running some aspects of it. But it's a convention at the convention center downtown. It's the third weekend in July, so it's just a month and a half away.
Yeah.
And it's just a huge pinball convention, but also it's a huge pinball competition.
Right.
That has grown into a convention. So there's also a lot of retro gaming, like arcade cabinets. And we're going to have modern gaming, like PCs and consoles. Well, I think just PCs, actually. And then board games. And we're helping run tournaments. But there are just 1,000 old school video games to check out, which I think is big in the punk scene. So many people have come to shows who I'm friends with. They're like, oh, yeah, this is a cool place. Do you have Frogger?
Right, sure,
yeah.
Sure.
Because they're into old school games.
Yeah.
That's the place to go.
That's the place to go.
Yeah.
That was how long have they been? That was here last year.
Yeah.
Replay Effects was last year too, right?
Yeah. I'm probably gonna misquote this and then be, that's off the internet. But there's I think that this is the third year that it's going to be at the convention center.
Okay.
And but before that, it was hosted in Scott Township at Papa's warehouse. Papa is the Professional and Amateur Pinball Association. and they've run Pittsburgh. I think it's Punksburgh, which is the world's largest pinball competition in Pittsburgh. Which, if you didn't know, is really exciting.
Yes, I did actually.
Yeah.
I've come across that before.
Yeah.
Now that if I'm right, that warehouse, that's not something like the machines that they use. That's not something that's typically open to the public, right?
Right.
That was only open for that.
Right. Yeah. So there's some sort of legal regulation. They can't. They're not a business, so they can't be open more than twice a year to the public. So they always do an open house, which they still do once a year, and then they do this convention. But they moved it to the convention center because it was too big for their gigantic warehouse. So it's just huge. And it's, they're a tournament. The pinball tournament is a big thing. Spilling some water again. But there are other tournaments that happen that are smaller, and then there are also like cosplay competitions and stuff like that.
Cool. Well, thank you for taking the time to talk to us. Again, this is Brayton Batson of Looking for Group, and thanks, Dad. If you go to any punk shows, you're probably going to run into him, or you probably already know him. But if not, he's a great guy. Go up to him and hang out with him.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.